I'd now like to invite on stage Jatinder Singh, Executive Editor of CIO&Leader. And Jatinder is, some of you probably know him, but please welcome on stage Jatinder Singh, Executive Editor of CIO&Leader, who's going to present the CIO&Leader State of Technology Survey.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Thank you very much for joining us today once again. And I think a lot of interesting things have come up so far. Professor Walsh has rightly said that artificial intelligence, amazing technology, ChatGPT, really interesting, but we are yet to explore some numerous things around that, which probably in the future going to be really interesting. So, can we have the slides, please?
So, to very quickly introduce the purpose, what was this survey all about? The survey was conducted during the last 2 months, June and July. So we had about 250 IT decision makers respond to a series of surveys. And it covered cloud and infrastructure, data and analytics, AI, and IT security. Probably the topics were at the top of all of our minds. So Jatinder, let's talk a little bit about cloud and infrastructure. So what did we find in the survey?
Can we have the slides, please?
Yeah.
So we did this survey. We wanted to understand where exactly we are as far as the future of technology is concerned. So some of the interesting thing, I'm sure most of the seasoned IT leaders like you would agree, the cloud is definitely gaining momentum, and some of the key factors, as you are aware, data transformation, innovation, and of course AI, which most of the IT leaders have agreed to. As a service models are, of course, getting really popular with SaaS, infrastructure as a service, and analytics as a service gaining prominence big time. Public cloud is, of course, getting extremely popular for collaboration, CRM, and e-commerce. And then on-premise still dominates for backup, app dev, cybersecurity, and enterprise apps for sure.
So that's a real surprise, Jatinder, that on-prem continues to dominate for some kinds of functions. And I don't know, but I found it very surprising. I don't know if it surprises everybody else but interesting finding over there.
Yeah, of course, Giri. Thank you very much. Some of the key challenges with cloud services, security, compliance, and cost, again, dominate concerns. Most of the IT leaders, they still, while they, a lot of them want to move to cloud, but of course, security is a key concern for them, and cost is another continue to be a key concern. Then there are also lack of technical skills, as most of you would agree, which are creating great inhibitions of organization moving toward cloud. Giri would like to understand, I mean, from talent perspective, we have been talking a lot, but where exactly we are lacking?
So I think the challenge is that we are now in a hybrid or a multi-cloud environment. To find people who have skills across so many different technologies is a real challenge. So while we would all like to move to a multi-cloud environment just to hedge our risks, but do we have the people to be able to do it? I think that represents a severe hurdle for many CIOs.
Absolutely. Cloud initiatives being planned, improving and optimizing application is, of course, a very big focus area as we move forward. Data-related initiatives are also gaining importance, which is not surprising. Things like changing data strategy, replacing existing application with cloud solution is of extremely important area. And some of the IT leaders who are, especially who are from the startups, they have massive amount of focus on DevOps and new age strategies to build models which have been unheard of. Can we have the next slide, please?
Yeah, so now let's look a little bit, we have talked about data, and I think Jatinder mentioned data strategies. So we'll look a little bit about what did people have to say about data and analytics. So I think, Jatinder, if you could quickly run us through some of the insights from that.
Yeah, so growth is driven by digitalization, of course, IoT, Digital India, and compliance. Then the volume of data is increasing tremendously. We all know that, nothing surprising in that. Data across all tiers is increasing. Cold data growing faster due to stringent regulatory requirements with numerous new bills are being presented. and industry is going toward that. Warm data is growing at a slower pace, indicating a maturity curve in the overall data adoption.
So I think, Jatinder, the really astonishing thing, at least for me, was the size of data,
Yeah.
which are getting stored in organizations. You know, we used to talk about 1 petabyte being a very large amount. Now people are talking about 10 petabyte, 20 petabyte, 50 petabytes. So I think storage is growing and growing exponentially. I think that is the sort of finding that we are coming out. I mean, later I guess we can discuss with some of the CIOs whether, you know, are they seeing these trends in their own organizations.
Absolutely. Thank you, Giri. So things which are driving data growth, more or less, they have remained same over the last few years. Image and PDF files and binary files are primary reason for greater data volumes. Video and text files are also growing quickly, but surprisingly, still not as quickly as we would have anticipated.
Yeah, this is interesting, and probably a large growth in what you see as image and PDF files are probably coming from compliance, KYC, you know, all the digitization government which the government is doing, which is also forcing organizations to retain and maintain a lot of data in these formats.
Yeah. Few interesting things, maturity of data strategy, data culture, and data literacy. For data planning and technology, many organizations are at the managed level. Surprisingly, close to 70% organizations are still at early stage or reactive or opportunity driven. The proactive or differentiating organization are still just 1%, which is quite astonishing for me. I mean, for me as an analyst, and of course, we discussed that as well. While data is the big thing, but still just 1% of organizations are actually looking from a proactive standpoint.
Forward to having more discussions about this. I think, you know, tomorrow we have a lot of discussions around data, and we would like to understand why, you know, people have not, still a large number of people are only at the reactive stage or early stage with data.
Yeah.
If data is the new oil, then we are probably not doing a very great job in trying to manage that oil gusher, so to speak. So let's talk about this sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think one of the areas which we discussed, the data culture, is still in its infancy. I mean, still people within the organization, a lot of IT leaders are not really, hopeful that the culture has really expanded in an exponential form. So that could be one of the reasons.
Yes. So let's talk about this and what we need to do. And I think this is one of the key points we want to discuss tomorrow during the workshop.
Absolutely.
What can CEOs do in this area of data culture?
Top hurdles for data analytics, leadership support, which I'm sure this has been discussed over the last few years. Leadership support is extremely critical in identifying solutions and suitable use cases, which is again a major hurdle for implementing data analytics program. Then quality of data is seen as a big challenge too. Of course, there are solutions, and identifying right use cases with quality of data is gonna take more and more importance.
So let's talk next about artificial intelligence. I think all of you heard a lot from Professor Walsh, and one of the things that he also mentioned is, you know, it is data that is going to be key to driving AI. So let's see what did the community have to say about artificial intelligence.
From an AI standpoint, useful insight, the top 3 drivers among organizations for AI in enterprise: discover useful insights and improve decision making. Of course, 81% of organizations, they said that that's where this is something that's driving AI in their enterprise. Then improving customer experience and engagement, not surprising, 75%, and prediction of demand and anticipating new consumer needs. Well, most organizations have now started to leverage AI and ML-driven tools for decision making. However, exceptional customer experience remains a top priority for them, and there are a lot of use cases being planned, but still it's an area which is going to take more time to develop. Well, business processes using AI, cybersecurity makes extensive use of AI. So Giri, this is interesting and probably would like to hear from you. among all the use cases, cybersecurity still dominates where enterprises are using AI. Could it be a special reason for that?
I think, it has to be sort of correlated to the challenges we are seeing with cybersecurity today. Both the volume, variety, as well as the seriousness of attacks has increased, that it is no longer possible for a human or a human team to keep up with the speed at which it is evolving. And this is one of the very specific use cases where AI has found the greatest application as of the moment, because a lot of cybersecurity is still very rule-based. So you can teach an AI to look for trends, to look for problems, to look for anomalies, and to do it very rapidly from a very large stream of signals that you are getting through various sources. And so therefore, it's sort of turned out to be one of the early successful use cases for AI today.
Of course, yeah. IT ops is another early use of AI ML for automation.
I think we are seeing customer engagement where a lot of, you are seeing a lot of chatbots being deployed at a lot of websites. So that seems to be the most popular or common use case of AI today. May not be very sophisticated AI, but it is still packaged as an AI, and you are seeing that today. But it's going to evolve. I think there's a great deal of focus on improving the customer engagement, customer satisfaction, and you're going to be seeing many more solutions which are driven by AI, voice recognition systems, ability to do multiple Indian languages. I think all those are going to have some AI at the back end. So
of course, I agree.
we'll continue to see that.
Yeah.
On the systems side, I think you are going to see AI getting used. Anything which is very process driven, data driven, you're going to see applications for AI over there.
Well, this is another slide which surprised us most.
Yes.
We discussed this yesterday. Despite all the hype, please note that this survey was conducted among close to 300 senior IT leaders and CIOs. So it's very interesting that despite hype, only modest increase in spend is expecting in next 12 months as far as AI initiatives are concerned. So would you like to explore?
I think, a lot of people are doing pilot projects in AI, and perhaps they are waiting for the outcomes and to see how it can be deployed. And as we had mentioned previously, whether there is enough top level leadership support for rolling out more pervasively within the organization, and whether there is a culture to accept this. Some of these things might be hampering why people are somewhat reserved about how much additional spending they're going to do on AI initiatives. Our guess is that people are waiting for some results and to assess whether the AI solution is appropriate, whether the AI solution is suitable for the organization, whether it will actually give whatever the benefits that were promised. So it looks like a lot of people are in the evaluation stage still before committing themselves to very large scale implementations of AI. But this could change. I mean, we want to talk to everyone, over the next 2 days to see is there something different, something we are missing from this.
Yeah, thank you. Among the key challenges in deploying AI solutions, of course, demonstrating business value tops the list, followed by choosing the right AI technologies, then integrating AI with business apps, and of course, having technology skills and talent. Tech selection and tech skills is another area of concern for most of these CIOs and IT leaders. Skill sets we have discussed. It's
in short supply.
Yeah, which is in short supply, and we would love to hear more from you, all IT leaders, the kind of strategies that they are focusing on, and what we could do to make sure that future of business is, there are no the talent. We have sufficient talent to drive future of business. Organizational culture in AI and ML, of course, executive sponsorship is very critical, and AI talent management is another key pillar. And we can see educating business users about AI and ML is again a big focus area. It's very important for most of the CIOs, and developing and retaining AI professionals as well.
So I think a lot of it still points out to the things that, whether, while we know the technology works, can we get it accepted within the organizations? Will people trust it enough? Will people use it enough? what do we need to do to change the culture within the organization to accept some of these technologies. So it's not just a technology problem, but it's also a cultural
The
issue.
change management, I think.
Change management, yes.
It's going to be really crucial for business.
Whether we want to change the processes, we have to change the way people work. So, the final topic which we explored during the surveys was, of course, something which is top of mind of all CIOs, which is security. Continues to be top of the list now for probably the 10th year in a row. So it is the hot button topic. And I think some of the key trends here, nothing very different. I mean, you're all aware of this. It continues to be phishing, insider threats. These continue to be, I can see Akhilesh there, is going to talk more about this, but it's more of the same is there. I think, but one thing that has sort of come to the top of the list last year and even this year is ransomware. But if you look at the source of the ransomware, it is, primarily human error or, a phishing attack which leads to a ransomware kind of scenario. So it is human error which is often responsible for these. So in terms of, security solutions, largely still tends to be done in-house, though people are now looking at external agencies to handle cyber security for them because the problems become so complex and it requires so much more knowledge and skills. And particularly for cloud-based security solutions, it is pretty much run by a third-party service provider. So challenges,
Thanks. Dependence on platform provider and lack of cloud security expertise are the biggest bottlenecks for most of the senior technology leaders. Operational and management issues contribute to security challenges as well. One more interesting which has come out that most of the organizations are now, they're trying to test their system by doing ethical penetration, ethical hacking. So they're just trying to identify the loopholes in their system, which is I think a good development. Action to address IT security gaps.
So I think, of course, people are not sitting quietly and allowing attacks to happen. So they are taking some steps to, bolster their security. So primarily, I think the thing which is that because, as we had noted earlier, that human factor continues to be the biggest source of or cause of cyber security incidents. So training for employees, this is an ongoing process and this continues to be high on the agenda for people, as well as partnering with, experts or consultants to do it because not everything can be done in-house. You probably need external expertise to do this. And of course, retraining technical staff because the security solutions themselves are changing and they become a lot more complex and they're getting more integrated or they have the ability to integrate. So you'll have to retrain people who were perhaps only managing a firewall to do something, more comprehensive. So a lot of retraining people see as happening. If you're doing cloud security, well, you need to learn new things. So I think really one of the things that people are trying to do is make the processes themselves better. And the second thing is reduce the complexity of the IT within the organization. Because the more disparate IT you have, higher are the risks because there are more things you need to protect in different ways. I think that's the challenge. So people are trying to reduce the IT complexity to make things more secure. So that's all we had as the summary of this survey. So what we will be doing is we have more detailed findings. I mean, this is just a top level, some of a synopsis of the surveys. We'll share that survey with everyone. And we would really love to have your comments and feedback on it and to see, where we are right, where we are wrong, and did the community get it right or not. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.